Hey guys, Chef Jojo with ECO, and on this episode of Shift Drink, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions and what that means to us in our industry. And as always, we're going to discuss this topic over a drink. Oh man, 2020. This is going to be the mega year, right? Where everybody is discussing or talking about all the changes they're going to make in their life and how they're going to turn around and make everything. This next year is the year. You just wait and see. Well, I'm going to be working out every day. I'm going to be eating right. What does that really mean to us? I mean, in our industry, right? We're in the service industry and we take care of people. And then half the time we can't even take care of ourselves because we're too busy. So I thought I'd take the time as we get prepared for the 2020 season to really discuss this as a culinary industry, as a restaurant industry, as a whole. What does it mean to us and how you can kind of pick a way to change your life without putting so much pressure on yourself. So, did you know that 80% of all people that put resolutions out there fail? And most of them don't even make it past January 12th. Hell, I mean, I don't even really participate in resolutions. Every time I've tried, I've failed. And you know why? Because I was working. And, I'm going to work out. But then you have to say, when are you going to work out? Oh, I'm going to drink less. Okay, drink less. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to have only 3 shift drinks or 3 drinks at the end of the night and not 6. Oh, you want a gold star? That's not really like beating down the door of health, is it? Oftentimes you got to choose between the sparkling water or the sparkling beverage, and we don't always make the right choice. We blame it on work. We blame it on stress. We blame it on a lot of things. And now what's going to happen, I think, this year is going to be for the next 2 weeks or leading up for the next 10 days for sure. All we're going to do is hear about it. I mean, what are you going to do for 2020? What's your new life going to be like? What's the new you? And hell, half of us are just trying to figure out how we're going to pay our bills. We don't really have a lot of time to worry about all that. That's for the normal people that are off on the weekends, right? Well, I'm here to say a couple of things, and you can bear with me for it if you want, and this is it. It's time for us to actually initiate change in our industry. It's time for us to initiate change for ourselves. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, who will? And I mean that as a whole, not just you taking care of yourself. I mean us looking out for the people in our industry. I've got a good friend of mine that has a company called Fit Chefs. You can check out him. He's always trying to push chefs to take care of themselves and eat right and do better. He just finished his first 100-miler not too long ago. He's kind of an inspiration to me because I've become really obsessed with these ultra marathons. I did a half with Gina this last year, not too long ago, and I thought it was amazingly, I thought it was cool. And then we did a Ragnar. That was really cool. So I'm starting to pick these things that push myself, right? Well, 2020 is going to be the year that I do a full marathon, and I do at least one other big one. I don't know if it's a 30K or 50K, but it's going to be a little bit ultra-esque, if you will. And I'm going to set some goals, but I'm not going to do resolutions. They're too demanding. They're too cut or dry, I guess. I'm trying to take some of the pressure off and just focus on using a word that helps me kind of change the way I'm going to do it. If I write out a whole list, I could give you guys a list of 15 things right now that I want to start doing more. Maybe I'm going to start drinking less. Maybe a shift drink. One of these episodes, I'm going to be drinking a Pellegrino. Or hell, maybe I'm just drinking when I do the shift drinks. I want to do more shift drinks. I want to post more. I want to interact with you guys more. I want to make sure that ECO is providing you with the latest things that you find that you want to wear when you're not at work. Is that going to happen? I have a list, but what I find is my list can be daunting and just too much for me to handle. So I'm going to scale it back, and I'm just going to focus on like maybe a word like I want balance. Balance for me would be finding the time for everything that I would like to do. You know, I often talk about how it's all or nothing with me, and it is for a lot of us in this industry. We're all or nothing. We're all in or all out. You know, you can see it on some of your posts that you put down and like, F that industry, man. I'm so glad I got the hell out of there. And then there's people that are all in, you know, like this is the best industry. I've been doing it for 30 years and it's the only thing I know how to do. As a group of people, we are very spread, cannot cut down the middle. We're all over the place. I mean, what I find is that you have people that dive right in and they sink their teeth into the hardcoreness of our industry and how tough it can be. And that's kind of like their mantra. But I've always leaned into that really hard, and I haven't found the balance that I think I need. So maybe balance would be my word, to where I'm finding things to be more on a median. Or maybe it needs to be health, and I need to focus on my health. That would be cool. You know, I don't know where I'm going to go with it, but I know that I'm going to provide a list, and then hell, maybe you guys can hold me accountable for it. I can definitely hold you guys accountable. I mean, you send me all these questions and concerns that you have with the industry and what you would like, hey, you know, how do I talk to my chef about getting to that next level? Or I want to raise, but they don't want to give it to me. Like, you ask me those kind of questions. It's funny that we never ask how to make yourself better, right? Because it's the last thing we really think about, is taking care of ourselves. But I promise you, if you actually start taking care of yourself, you'll be in much better shape to take care of others and to focus. So maybe don't write out a huge list, or write out a list and then try to find a common theme inside those 10 or 20 things that you want to be your resolutions. Just have some resolve and back off of it and say, you know what, almost every one of these things on my list really need me to be more clear. So I need to focus on clarity. Or, you know, like for me, maybe it is clarity. Maybe I need to figure out what that 2020 year is going to be like for us. Got a lot of things going on, and I'm always like trying to push myself to that next level. I mean, the goal really is to be better than you were yesterday. And if you can keep it that simple, maybe your word's better, and you leave it at that. Better. I don't know. I do know that I'm looking forward to 2020 and seeing what it brings for all of us, and, you know, how we're going to manage through. I know that we have maybe a little bit longer than one more crazy week, and then the holidays, everybody starts to die down. But, you know, take your time, try to find some time, and write out that list. And then find a common thread through that list that you can just focus on that one word, so it's not so much pressure. We already have enough pressure in our lives, you know? And I think that's kind of where my head's at right now in the holidays, as I'm winding down from a crazy couple of days, and then, you know, I've got games and concerts and stuff coming up, and another game, and, you know, the New Year's is going to be upon us, and then boom, it's 2020. I remember when I was a kid, and 2020 was like, you know, flying cars in the air and things like that. Now none of that really exists. I guess I am showing my age a little bit, but, you know, if there's anybody that you when you sit down and reflect, and there's anybody that you want to thank that's helped you through your career, you can always take the time and send us a letter at chefeco@extremeculinaryoutfitters.com and tell us what they did for you and tell us how they helped you. And if we select your letter, they could win $150 worth of VCO gear, and you would win $50 worth of VCO gear. And all you have to do is write a letter and send that in. You know, if you want, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat, maybe Twitter. I had to start working on the tweets. And as always, on YouTube, you can hit the bell or hit subscribe, and you'll get notifications and tell us when you put up that next shift drink. And, you know, I just want to say, I hope you guys have a great New Year's, and looking forward to some of your resolutions. Shoot them over my way. You can DM us on Instagram or any of those socials. I'd love to hear what you're going to do. And as always, until next time, cheers.